Strange. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I love finding affordable ways to DIY a variety of things. Money can't buy everything, except maybe figures. I love collecting figures and recreating iconic scenes. Every figure deserves to shine on my display. So every week I ask myself the same question, and answer it by creating something I'm proud of. Join my weekly adventure by subscribing to my channel. Leave your feedback and suggestions down below. I often get inspired by your comments, and I hope I can inspire you too. Last week, I gave the Infinity War 3-pack Doctor Strange a fresh coat of paint and built the Sanctum Sanctorum to house all the props. Check that video out if you haven't already. Yes, today I'm gonna work on another Doctor Strange. My original intention was to use this astral form Strange in last week's video, to make it look like Doctor Strange is casting magic in the sanctum while his astral form is floating in the background. That didn't happen because this figure is very disappointing. Just look at that face. It looks like a badly drawn cartoon. I feel like I got tricked. The promotional images made it look like the face is somewhat opaque with all the facial details. Let's deconstruct this figure. I actually do like the transparent look to the figure. Everything below the neck is cool. The issue is the face. There's no definition on the face due to the lack of paint and the material they used. It doesn't help that the beard looks like it's taped on. As a result, the head looks very cartoonish. The rest of the figure is fine. There are a lot of molded details. With a bit of paint, I can make this better. Or transform it into another Doctor Strange character, Sinister Strange. The outfits seem very similar. So, can I make it? Okay, so the main difference I see right off the bat are the leather pieces on the shoulders. Those pieces aren't molded on this figure, so I'm going to try to sand it down a bit to smooth it out. It didn't really work. Moving on, I'm going to mix a bit of black into blue to get a darker, muddier blue, and apply that color all over the figure. I want Sinister Strange to have this desaturated, muted feel to it in the end. Like all the colors have been sucked out of him to reflect his lonelier, more sinister side. And for his sleeves, I mixed in a bit more black to get an even darker blue. Look identical. So I'm applying a bit more black to deepen the color even more. I'm doing the same to his pants. Then I'm painting his boots black. And his gauntlets too. And his belt. Everything is blue and black, except his shoulder pads. Finally, some color! Yay! I'm also brushing some of the same brown onto his belt, to bring out some of the details and make the belt look more like leather. Then, I'm going to apply a layer of glossy varnish over the shoulder pads to make them look glossier. Next, I've already painted the neck and the hands off screen. I'm now applying a bit of black to his fingertips. Whoever wrote that dark code must have used some non-drying ink, staining everyone's fingers. Alright, the body's looking pretty good. Gotta add a layer of protection by applying some matte varnish over it. Time to work on the face. Okay, the face isn't that bad when it's turned to the side. It's when it's straight on that makes it look so cartoonish. Before I start painting, I'm gonna extend his beard with a bit of air-dry clay. I don't think this is the best kind of clay to use because air-dry clay is quite brittle. But this is the only kind of clay I have. I made his beard more rectangular? I remember his beard being very bushy but straight in the movie. Alright, let's start with the skin. I want him to have pale skin, but I also need to fully cover up the translucent plastic. So it's gonna take a couple of layers. Okay, the skin's all covered. I added a bit of green to the face because that's how he's portrayed in the movie. Sam Raimi gave Sinister Strange's universe this dark, yucky color palette. Next, I'm gonna darken his eyebrows and facial hair. I'm using a dark brown instead of black. I personally don't like using black because I find it difficult to add dimension to it. It's either nothing or all black. Barely any in between. Brown may not be the right color, but I can at least build up the color. Alright, now I just gotta paint his hair too, so everything matches. Here's the painted head. It's not perfect, but it's definitely an improvement. And here's Sinister Strange. It just looks like a completely different figure. The paint isn't very thick, so it's still a bit translucent, but I don't mind it. I think it makes it more unique like this. Like he's half dead. It goes well with his pale skin. Here's a close-up of the figure. I'm quite satisfied with this. I usually don't paint over the entire figure. I generally like to fix minor issues here and there to enhance what's already there. But the original figure is just so disappointing. So I really didn't have that much to lose by painting over it. It's a brand new figure now. Do you like what I've done? Let me know down below. Okay, I know you saw the thumbnail. I did add the third eye, but I wasn't sure if I should do it. It can go wrong in so many ways. All my hard work could be ruined by one wrong stroke. But I took a deep breath and said, "You can't do it." Then I replied, "Challenge accepted." It would be a lot easier to do it off camera. It's a bit more challenging to paint on camera because naturally, I want to be right in front of the object I'm painting. But then I'll be blocking the camera. I'm using this fine brush. There's this one bristle that's longer than the rest, so I'm pretty much painting with one hair. I want to avoid making the lines too harsh. I want the eye to look somewhat 3D and natural, so the strokes should be softer to give it some depth. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna add the pupil by dotting a bit of blue onto the eye. I could make it bigger, but at this point, I'm too scared to mess it up. The small pupil kinda adds to that creepy factor. I think it works. The head looks sinister. Look at how bland the original head looks. Can't really tell these are the same head. It's amazing what some paint can do. Alright, here's the final figure. Look at that! I'm so glad I did this. I was so ready to put the original figure in a box somewhere. So glad I gave him a second chance. The paint on the face does look a bit caked on because I had to fully cover up the translucent plastic. But I would take this version over the original any day. What about you? Do you think the third eye looks convincing? Give this video a like or Sinister Strange will destroy your universe. Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. I'm so proud of this. The original figure was such a letdown. I actually got this figure before the other Multiverse Stranges, and I almost gave up on it. Fortunately, the custom Scarlet Witch boosted my confidence quite a bit. Besides, it can't get any worse, right? Okay, the third eye could have gone very wrong, like being off-centered or slanted or too big, etc. Glad I took the risk. And it paid off. I wasn't a huge fan of the claw hands, but they work really well for Sinister Strange. It's like this figure is meant to be sinister. The rope does a great job of hiding the joints, but it also limits the kind of poses I can do. Here are all the Doctor Stranges. I love how different they all look. Okay, time to end this with a photo shoot. I did take a bunch of photos before I painted the third eye in case I mess up, and you would never know. I do like him like this, but it's just not sinister enough. He kinda looks like he was stuck in a freezer or something. I still really like these photos though. I'm surprised the beard stayed on. I thought it would crack or fall off. But it's still intact and doesn't look distracting. Alright, Stephen Strange, time to open your third eye. Ah, much better. He looks so much more terrifying like this. That third eye just grabs your attention right away. Can't help but stare at that eye. Or maybe it's the other way around. Usually when we look at someone, we look at their left or right eye. And now I find myself looking at all three. Here's Strange with Strange. I think I like the Sinister one a bit more. Here are the three Stranges from the new movie. Which one is your favorite? What if I add one more Strange? Okay, too many doctors. So, turns out, the empty Sanctum Sanctorum works really well with Sinister Strange. It fits his backstory really well in my opinion. It's like he has isolated himself there to study the Darkhold, causing an incursion and wiping out universes. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This will be my last Doctor Strange video. 4 is enough, for now. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see other Marvel Legends content. I'm getting close to the 10k subs. And as always, stay inspired, and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.